So let's talk about success. And you can apply this to almost anything, not necessarily just trading, but in anything you're trying to do, anything you're trying to achieve with your actual life, right? The these things can be tangibles. So the first point I want to talk about is you have to earn your stripes. You can't cheat the game. So as you know, I equate trading to sports because growing up, again, I was athletic. Discovered football wasn't for me because I got tackled. And I was like, yeah, screw this game. But basketball was my sport. And at 5'8", I was dunking on a regulation 10-foot rim. And this was before all these guys can do it now. This was like 97, 98. Because someone said, hey, you can't do that. You're short. Screw you. I'm not short. Well, I am short, but I'm gonna do what I want to do. You can't stop me. So that's where that comes from, that inner drive. And let's talk about dunking at my height. 5'8", man, and I don't know what my wingspan is. It's not 6 feet, I could say. Maybe it is about 6 feet. No, my dad's 6'3", and I don't think I can touch him. Like, yeah, anyway, but so what does that involve? So I had this goal, right? And again, I ain't gonna say I looked up the Spud Webb, and I just always thought he looked funny, right? But dunking, but I mean, athletically, the dude's gifted is all outdoors. He's a 5'8" basketball player that's dunking too. So I looked up to him, and at the time there was no internet. Um, there was really, I mean, there was internet, but it wasn't widely accessible. And again, I grew up in the projects. Like we didn't have internet, we didn't have a computer. We only have the computer labs at school, and then there wasn't much of anything there. So I was going around, I was asking people that were taller than me that could dunk how they built their legs, how they built their how did they get to the point to where they can do this? And I compiled the data, right? Compiled the data. Okay, it's a function of exercises. Calf raises, squats, wall sits were important. And I did this every day. I mean, at 14, 15, you can train every day relatively easy without hurting yourself. So that was that. And then you hit a wall, hit a limit, and then I introduced myself to plyometric training. And this was when Slam Magazine was hot in the streets, right? So getting Slam magazines, I bought the book, The Science of Jumping, and man, I didn't cheat the game. I did the plyometrics with that. I did all the plyometric exercises, and I was faster. And again, this is a side effect of me just wanting to dunk. I was faster. I was getting better lift on my jump shot. Don't worry, I'm going to tie this into trading. So cool. I bought the jump soles, right? That you can attach them to any shoe. I saved my allowances, and my auntie Ella, man, she would send me 25 bucks a month. It was from her pay. And I saved the money and I bought my jump soles. They were like 75 bucks. So I saved my money. Shout out to my auntie for that, man. She's a gangster for that one. And I got my jump soles. So I started doing my plyometrics with my jump soles. And no matter what, pain, cramps, not wanting to do it, but me wanting to be more athletically gifted was really more of a priority than how I felt. In hindsight, being 2020, I made the right choice. I'm not going to say I messed up or screwed up. Nah, I did the right thing for me. And the first time I tried to actually dunk was on one of my friends, actually two of my friends. I did not know, I had no clue I could do it. But I was like, oh man, I missed the dunk. But I was like, whoa, I did this on two of my friends. Like, yo, I'm a gangster, right? It's confidence building, right? Because I didn't cheat the game. I hit this goal, and I was so proud of myself, man. I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't wait to train even harder. And then they had programs like Air Alert, and again, it was just nothing but training fast twitch muscle fibers every day, man. When no one was around, because I didn't want no one to know I was training like a freaking madman, but I was training like a freaking madman. all for this one goal, to be able to dunk, right? And the side effect of that was I jumping higher, my jump shot improved. I was faster. It just had this effect that spilled over into more parts of the game than just being able to dunk. So trading's the same thing. You cannot cheat success. You have to. What was the point? Got to earn your stripes. You can't cheat the game. And I don't know if that's back testing, right? And to some point you can over back test and burn yourself out, but that's part of the game. I don't think I'm a Kobe fan. I don't think Kobe was making excuses about wanting to be one of the greats of all time. It was like, oh, my head hurts, this hurts. You just get it done, like Stephen Curry. You don't become the greatest shooter of all time sitting on your behind. It's grind, it's grit, it's tenacity, it's full steam ahead. Okay. Same way. In the beginning of trading, I just thought I could naturally get it, but that's part of my personality type, right? I've talked about being a 5-1, but it's also an aura type. And again, if you want me to get into that stuff, I can. It gets a bit esoteric, but it's helpful. Not cheating the game, not cheating the process, and earning your stripes. And your stripes are going to come with what? They're going to come with pain. It's not all joy, sunshine, rainbows, and unicorn piss. No, it's painful, but it's self-inflicted pain. It's not like the market or whatever you're trying to be successful at is trying to hurt you. It's self-imposed. The market's not causing you trauma, right? Your job's not causing you trauma. The way you process information is causing you trauma, right? So even in trading, right, I back tested my tail off. I sacrificed things, sacrificed time. And I think I talked about that on the last episode. I sacrificed family time. I put a lot of things before myself. I put trading number one. I remember my wife and kids were out at a party, and man, I ordered, and this, I was already full-time trading. I ordered takeout, ate here by myself at my desk, and kept grinding away because I know that there was a way to get better. And I don't sit here and I don't have this conversation on this podcast without having that mentality. Doesn't happen. Things are a bit easier these days, but if I told you I stopped working, no, heck no. One of my good friends, Curtis Bell, Reese Davis, I love those guys. If you guys are in the group, you've seen the video with them talking about how to be successful. And if you stop learning, you're dying. I'll say it again. The moment you stop learning, it's the moment you start dying. I don't mean in the physical sense. What I mean is in the sense of your journey. The moment you stop learning is the moment you'll hit a wall, hit a pitfall. I remember listening to Chris Laurie on an episode of Pro Traders Club, which he calls PTC. Him teaching traders was him relearning things and him learning things and coming to realize newer things. And I can say that's true. Now, part of me continuing to push the needle forward is got a bit of an ego. I don't want any of my students passing me up. And that's probably because I always want to remain the teacher. But one of my guys, Mark, if I come up with a concept of something, I don't have time to put effort into it. Mark puts effort to it, and then he teaches me what he learned. And that's part of the beauty of that. Now, again, Mark is another guy who's earned his stripes. Mark's a young full-time trader. And when Mark came to me, I pushed him away. I didn't want him in my group, right? I'm not going to say I didn't want him in my group. I knew Mark had talent. I didn't think Mark needed a mentor. Felt like Mark was on the cusp. Mark earned his stripes. Mark came into the group. He was pushy. I like that. He was pushy in a professional way. He got the information. He grinded on the information. He made sacrifices. He earned his stripes. And Mark even has concepts now that he that he's created on his own because he pushed the envelope. He earned his stripes. He's grinding away, right? So you can't cheat the process. It's painful, it's long, but the pain is self-imposed. It's a self-imposed exile. And what can you really do? If you want it, you'll do it. Now, another part of earning your stripes is not just work, it's making changes. I'm not going to beat my head over a wall to try to break the wall 1,000 times if the wall's not even budging, if it's not even cracking. Well, somebody say, you may have to do it a million times. I'm going to work smarter. I'm probably going to attach a brick to my forehead, then bang at the wall, right? With that being said, it's making adjustments to be more efficient. And again, we can put this to trading. We could put this because again, I like exercising. I like martial arts. I'm a martial artist. I train and I train efficiently because let's say I didn't want to lose my athletic ability. I'm 40 years old and I am still pretty athletic. So what do? Just lifting the American style, just lifting weights doesn't cut it. So what do? I added kettlebell training. I added resistance band training, right? I stopped lifting super heavy. What's the point? It's not going to make me more athletic. It's going to hurt me. Train smarter, higher rep ranges, kettlebells, train all planes of motion, right? You have to train all planes of motion. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. Trading is the same way. You literally, and if it's not back testing, what else could it be? It's forward testing, putting a small amount of money in account, testing a theory out, something that you're not emotionally connected to, and making it work or seeing where it's weak. It's not all about making it work. It's also seeing the weaknesses. There's so many avenues that we can tie into this that it's not even funny, but it's also earning your stripes, right? And again, yes, it's tough, it's long, it's painful, but remember the pain self-imposed. If you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, what are you doing it for? Right? What are you putting all this effort in? If you're not making the adjustments to get better, what are you doing it for? What are you putting all this effort in? You don't want to move in circles, right? You don't. You want to be moving somewhat like this, somewhat linear, right? Up to your path. And don't stop learning. The minute you stop learning is the minute you start regressing. It's common sense to some extent. Like if I stopped working out right now, I'm probably going to be 280 pounds at 5'8" because I like food. Put a donut in my face, it is a wrap. Right? But I know what I'm trying to get to. And again, this is the same thing earning my stripes. I can't eat donuts and cookies and pizzas and chicken wings and French fries, cinnamon rolls every day. Maybe once every other week is what I do now because I have a goal to get to. And you're going to slip. We're human, right? No one's perfect. We're going to slip up and that's fine. You just get back on track. Don't slip too hard. And again, make the adjustments, right? Do what fits your profile. And you really got to go through the mud. Like we have this, and again, it's in the hood, we say, get it out the mud. And I'm not in the hood anymore, but you got to get it out the mud. You got to go through it. Like you're going to come out muddy, but you rinse yourself off. You come out a whole different person. So even when you're earning your stripes, right? And it's tough, but earning your stripes makes you better. I am not the same Andre that Andre was 6 years ago when I started full-time trading. I'm not the same guy. I'm different. I'm better in a lot of avenues. I still have work to do, even as a trader, as a mentor, as a husband, as a father. It spills into all areas of my life. But I'm earning my stripes, right? I'm trying to improve. I'm doing what I got to do day in on a day out basis. There's no excuse. Like if you want it as bad as people say they want it, they would go through it. There is no excuse. I don't know how else to say it. I'm blunt. There's no excuses. Like I tell this to my kids, if you really want something, you can't make excuses. You got to go do it. Yeah, you're gonna fall on your butt, but who cares? You got to get it. You got to go. And my kids are talented at martial arts and boxing. They work, they grind at it. And I know they see me up at 2 a.m. I know they see me tired picking them up from school, but this is what I chose. They see me tired taking them to school, but again, there's no excuses. I'm not going to look at them in the eye and say, I ain't taking you to school today because I'm tired. I was up grinding. Nah, it don't work that way. It's you do what you got to do to get where you want to get. And those are the lessons I want to pass to my kids is if you're not pushing forward, what are you doing? You're staying stagnant. And when you stay stagnant, what does that typically do? Depending on your personality type, you get depressed, you get sad, you get anxious. Can't I can't do that. I have to push forward because again, unfulfilled potential is a fear. It's a real fear of mine. But instead of seeing it as a fear, it's a fire starter. It lights the fire and it pushes me to keep moving. What's your fuel? What's your light? What's your fire starter? I know mine. You at some point you gotta know yours. And it doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. Like it could be mansions, it could be Lamborghinis, it could be cars, it could be women, it could be men. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter what it is. As long as it gets the fire going, you go in that direction and you don't care what anybody says. You don't care what anybody thinks, but you stay grounded. That's the trick, right? You stay grounded. Don't get so big headed if and when you make it to where you forget who you used to be, right? You don't let success make you a dick. Pardon my French. That's all I got. Guys, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave me a like, a review. It's greatly appreciated. Watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Follow me on Instagram at JustSomeTrader. That's all I got, guys. All right, man. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Peace.